Could it be you? You are the only one who can kill all the narcissists in the world. Empaths can be categorized into 4 distinct groups: normal, codependent, super, and contagion. However, it's rare for someone to neatly fit into just one category. More commonly, individuals exhibit traits from multiple groups, sometimes even encompassing all 4. Despite many claiming to be extreme empaths, true classification can only be determined through the empath recognition test. While some may occasionally demonstrate exceptional empathetic abilities, most often, they are exaggerating their capacities, driven by a desire to perceive themselves as more unique. This inclination isn't rooted in narcissism, but rather stems from their belief in being super empaths, especially following encounters with narcissistic individuals. Conversely, mid-range narcissists assert their superiority in understanding others. Their inflated self-worth aligns with their perception of superiority over others. The super empath, akin to a superhero, defies the odds to overcome the narcissist, often eliciting emotional responses from them. However, confronting such narcissists typically exacerbates the situation, leaving one vulnerable and only serving to fuel the narcissist's emotional energy. True empathy entails maintaining composure and discerning that the best course of action may be to disengage. This contradicts the self-image of mid-range narcissists, who pride themselves on their perceived bravery in facing challenges head-on. Many lay claim to being super empaths, though in reality, they represent a minority among empaths. While some may exhibit traits associated with super empaths, genuine individuals of this group are scarce. Interestingly, super empaths often struggle against narcissists due to the inadequacy of their empathetic skills. Although they may detect discrepancies more swiftly, their actions are not aimed at subduing the narcissist, but rather perceived as a challenge to their authority. No, hyper-empaths use their unique traits to defend themselves. They don't get angry when the narcissist puts them down. Because they are so emotionally sensitive, they may take in some of it at first, and they might not even realize they are working with a narcissist at first. They set limits and speak up earlier than other empaths, though not to beat the narcissist, but to protect themselves and stop being abused again. Like Gandalf, they draw a line in the sand and say, "You shall not pass." They should stand their ground and not attack the narcissist. No matter what type of narcissist it is, lesser, moderate, extreme, or greater. In most cases, their empathic traits include both strong egotistical traits and even stronger empathic traits. For those who have been hurt by a narcissist's mistreatment, their narcissistic traits, such as pride or arrogance, become clear, while their empathy trait of justice stands out. Because of this, they often get into fights to show how strongly they feel. They can use emotional thinking, which can make them stay in arguments, when it would be smarter to stop, but they don't go through devaluation phases, like other empaths do. Being very understanding doesn't mean you have to be angry and lose control around narcissists all the time. The attention should be on resistance, staying strong, holding on to one's position, and knowing when to step back. The ultra-empath will talk to the narcissist, but they will do so in a protective way. But the goal of beating the ego doesn't matter. This is not the behavior of someone who has a lot of empathy. To protect themselves, they are more likely to cut off all contact with the narcissist and stay away from the narcissist's bad impact. Even though their high emotional intelligence might make them think about doing something different, they don't want to address the narcissist directly. It becomes clear to them that fighting the narcissist is pointless as they learn to control their emotions and think more clearly. Instead, they build a wall around themselves to protect themselves, make sure they are safe inside this refuge, stop being hurt, and break free from the narcissist's control. During the devaluation phase, the narcissist's harmful actions are more likely to be ignored by people who are highly adaptable, also known as super empaths. It's possible that this won't beat the narcissist, but it can make them pull away. Some narcissists, especially those lower on the narcissistic scale, can still have an effect on super empaths by controlling them and playing on their emotions. Super empaths may find it hard to keep their feelings in check so they don't show them, but they are very good at becoming less flexible and hard for the narcissist to control. Because they can feel what other people are feeling, super empaths naturally attract narcissists. However, some narcissists are better at controlling super empaths than others, which makes things hard for lower-level narcissists. Most of the time, these lower-level narcissists would rather be with another type of empath than a super empath. They might want to control a super empath, but because of their nature, they are more likely to pick a codependent person, who is less common than a super empath. Super empaths are better able to handle narcissists' control tactics when they start devaluing them at the beginning of a relationship. Higher-level narcissists, like greeters and ultras, love the challenge and see it as a chance to show how manipulative they can be. People in the middle and lower ranges, on the other hand, are more likely to end the relationship. This might be because the super empath is resisting, or because the narcissist knows that the super empath can read their actions and adjust to them. However, it is not true that only people with a lot of empathy can get past a narcissist. Individuals who are empaths usually keep being involved with narcissists by trying to heal or fix them, finding out the truth about the relationship, having respect for the narcissist's flaws, and other things. It's not always possible to beat an ego by doing these things. It would be possible for any empath, whether they are in the super, contagion, normal, or codependent groups, to make that happen. At times, this is called the assassin's revenge. This doesn't happen very often though, because reducing emotional thinking makes them more empathetic, which makes them less likely to do something like that. Even though highly empathic people may be more likely to want assassin's revenge and break down the narcissistic pillars, they are still more likely to choose a no-contact vengeance approach over assassin's revenge. It's not just people who are very empathetic who can get this result, as we already said. People who are super empathic can break down the narcissistic structures. All empaths have this skill, but how they choose to use it is a whole different story. Most of the time, they won't, because trying to do it too early, when they are still feeling very angry, will probably make it impossible for them to get the assassin's vengeance. Getting back at a narcissist while emotional thinking is high and the no-contact time is still new is almost certain to fail. No matter what kind of empath, they are codependent or super empath. At least 6 months of no touch with anyone is needed to get emotional thinking down to its lowest level. It is much more likely that the empath will be successful if they keep their plans to get assassin's vengeance and destroy the narcissistic pillars. This is a very important condition. Using cold, logical thinking and a sniper-like attitude. This should be done from a distance by someone with little emotion. The narcissist also doesn't know about these actions, because enough time has passed for them to no longer quickly connect them to the empath. They might even think that someone is watching them from afar. The trouble starts when an empath goes after assassin's vengeance, right after running away or disengaging. Their emotional thought stays at a very high level, which makes it hard to do things well. They run the risk of getting back into a close fight with the narcissist. No matter what kind of empath it is, there must be no touch for 6 months. It doesn't matter what kind of empath you are. You could all choose assassin's vengeance, but many people decide not to go through with it because their deep emotional pain lessens, and they lose the desire for such vengeance. They are happy with their non-contact response to being hurt. So, the claim that only ultra-empaths can beat narcissists is false, since these people rarely succeed in bringing down the narcissistic pillars. The majority of people fail for one of 3 reasons. They either don't have the skills, they try too soon, and are too emotional, or they lose the desire to keep going once their emotions calm down. But anyone, no matter what kind of empath they are, can succeed if they are determined to do so after 6 months of being alone. Super empaths are not the only ones who can do it. It's also possible for majority codependent empaths, majority standard empaths, and majority contagion empaths to do this. Disengagement is more often started by super empaths than by other empathic victims. It's not that the ego starts to fear the super empath. That would be silly. Instead, narcissists, especially those in the lower and middle ranges, are more likely to know deep down that the super empath is impossible to control and will avoid interacting with them. Extreme or higher narcissists may try even harder to control the super empath instead of pulling away. This might make the super empath want to run away, since empaths usually fight negative behaviors during devaluation, start disengaging, and try to get away. Compared to other empaths, super empaths don't experience as much numbness or body failure, though they can still get to that point. This makes them much less likely to quickly lose their abilities and become numb. So the false belief that an empath is the only person who can beat a narcissist has been disproved once more. Thank you for taking the time to read this in-depth look at how narcissists and super empaths interact with each other. We hope that this information has helped you understand things better. If you think this information is useful, Please remember to like, share, and follow for more interesting conversations. See you next time for our next study. Until then, keep looking for information and understanding. You must know this method, so that the narcissist loses. Get ready, my friends, for an eye-opening video that will leave you with a profound sense of satisfaction. Today, we're delving into the perennial question: why does the narcissist always appear triumphant? But here's the twist, dear friends. The tables are turning. Surprisingly, the narcissist finds themselves on the losing side. Yes, you heard correctly. They lose. Witness the truth unfold in this revealing video. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I genuinely hope you're all doing exceptionally well. Today's video aims to affirm and validate any lingering doubts you may have had. Brace yourselves as we expose the narcissist's ultimate downfall in all its glory. It's time to unveil a phenomenon rarely brought to light. All we usually see is the narcissist apparently thriving, effortlessly moving on, securing new sources of validation, and projecting an illusion of serene living. Or so it appears. Get ready for some revelations. Now let's address the obvious: the narcissist's ultimate downfall. What does this statement truly mean? You see, narcissists construct a deceptive narrative, pretending they're thriving, that life couldn't be better. However, deep down, you know that the person they presented themselves as at the beginning of a relationship is far from who they truly are when everything falls apart. Their identity undergoes a metamorphosis during the course of the relationship. Consider this. Throughout that time frame, they consistently project an image of prosperity. Even if you were to ask them directly, "Are you genuinely okay?" they would always respond with a resounding yes. Vulnerability and authenticity are not within their skill set. Their defense mechanism involves maintaining the facade of prosperity. Their reluctance to engage with emotions and discuss their inner feelings is rooted in a deep-seated fear of vulnerability. To them, vulnerability signifies weakness, and they have spent their entire lives avoiding the idea that they might not be okay. Opening up and expressing vulnerability would expose fragments of their true state of being, a reality they adamantly refuse to acknowledge. Regrettably, their failure to recognize the strength inherent in vulnerability obstructs any potential for emotional growth within the relationship. As the relationship inevitably reaches a breaking point and comes to an end, they strive to project an image of prosperity. Typically, they take the initiative to end the relationship, distancing themselves from the connection they once shared. Alternatively, if it becomes unbearable for you, and you assert, "I'm done. I've had enough," it is essential to recognize their significant role in reaching that point. They effectively dismantle the relationship, evident in their smear campaigns and attempts to vilify you. They manipulate others, spreading the word that you are the problem, using external sources to reinforce their narrative. To compound matters, they swiftly transition to someone new, leaving no room for self-reflection or solitude. It's a relentless cycle of overlap, ensuring they are always accompanied. Why? The answer lies in their inability to tolerate their own company. They crave constant attention from others, keeping their minds perpetually occupied. When left alone, they are tormented by their innermost thoughts, haunted by the vulnerabilities they desperately strive to conceal. Trust me, the haunting is incessant. In social settings, their minds become engrossed in external diversions, making true solitude an elusive state for them. This explains the consistent overlapping in their relationships, connections, and friendships. There's always someone else in their orbit. To compound matters, they enthusiastically proclaim their new partner as their soulmate, highlighting the apparent success of this newfound connection. They assert that they've never experienced such a profound bond before. However, it's crucial not to be misled. It's all a carefully constructed fabrication, an illusion designed to deceive. I've extensively addressed this in previous videos. Remember, people can say and do things that lack genuine sincerity. They tailor their words to suit the moment, a tactic they employ throughout your relationship with them, encompassing gaslighting and love bombing. Consequently, don't presume that they will authentically transform and instantly achieve a flawless life with this new individual. Applying logical reasoning reveals the implausibility of this rapid transition from one relationship to a seemingly perfect soulmate connection. Take a moment to reflect on the sheer absurdity of it all. Indeed, such occurrences defy the principles of physics, emotions, and psychology. However, the narcissist possesses a remarkable talent for manipulation, creating a narrative that convinces you this distorted reality is genuine. They perpetuate this cycle, reverting to the same captivating behavior seen in the early stages of your relationship. Recall the time when it felt like you had encountered your soulmate, forging an extraordinary connection. Now, as you grapple with understanding what has transpired, it's crucial to acknowledge that the new supply is likely undergoing a similarly bewildering experience. It's essential to realize that the narcissist's departure and subsequent smear campaign do not signify genuine change. Instead, they continue amassing more people, constructing the new life and engaging in novel experiences. However, they persist in a perpetual state of loss because authentic happiness eludes them. Jumping from one person to another and one deceit to the next, they never achieve genuine happiness. So, why do they persistently feign a perfect life? Take a moment to consider that this facade is precisely what they aim to portray. It conceals their internal struggle, perpetual dissatisfaction, and the burden of doubt, shame, and guilt. While they may never disclose these sentiments to you, internally, this is their reality, a constant state of discontent, lacking emotional stability. This prompts the question, how can someone truly find happiness and lead a life filled with fulfillment, meaning, and purpose? It's crucial to recognize that some individuals are disconnected from their emotions and struggle to comprehend social cues, leading to a perception of life that vastly differs from your own. Is genuine happiness ever within reach for these individuals? Unfortunately, their internal processes and neural structures pose barriers to fully experiencing the present moment, comprehending themselves, and authentically embodying their true selves. This lies at the heart of their disorder. Whether with you or anyone else, they struggle to engage fully in the moment, overshadowed by a relentless narrative in their minds, rarely of a positive nature. Despite projecting an image of invincibility and a flawless existence, beneath this facade resides a fractured individual. Yet this truth remains concealed from view. The narcissist hides it, and this very concealment is another aspect of the disorder. They guard their true selves, keeping the daily reality they live hidden from disclosure. This reality persists, unchanged. Ultimately, the narcissist consistently ends up on the losing side because they can never genuinely embrace their authentic selves. They bring forth a distorted version, lacking a full understanding of who they are, completely detached. As a result, they fall into repetitive patterns established in childhood, patterns left unaddressed because, emphatically, they believe nothing is wrong with them. Acknowledging any fault would shatter them to the core, pushing them into oblivion. This consistent evasion of reality is how the narcissist invariably loses out on everything, literally everything. Resists succumbing to their lies, to the illusory world they've built on falsehoods. I sincerely trust that this video has granted you insights and comprehension, reaffirming that in the grand scheme, the narcissist never truly prevails. If you're navigating comparable experiences, please be aware that I offer personalized consultations. Feel free to explore the details in the description box below. Moreover, I provide a mentorship program and a journal club, valuable resources that can complement existing therapy or counseling. For those seeking connection and a supportive space, the Discord server stands as a secure and safe platform, fostering engagement with others facing similar struggles. Relevant links are available in the description box. Thank you all for tuning in, and I eagerly anticipate our next video encounter. Farewell. This is what happens when narcissists regret they belittle you. In the intricate realm of human connections, the narcissist stands out as a crafty manipulator, skillfully weaving a web of abuse and exploitation. They see value as a form of currency, to be granted only to those who submit to their control. This perspective is veiled by an air of authority, with their intelligence reigning supreme in the narcissistic labyrinth. Every person becomes a potential pawn on the vast chessboard of exploitation, and none elude their watchful gaze as they navigate the complex tapestry of relationships. Confident in their ability to exploit others, narcissists continuously push the boundaries of interpersonal connections, stretching them like a rubber band in their relentless pursuit of power. With subtle finesse, they manipulate people, playing calculated notes on the strings of those unaware of the underlying dynamics. Reveling in their capacity to make others dance to their selfish tunes, they are convinced that their actions remain shrouded in secrecy. Beneath the facade of apparent intelligence, narcissists conceal an unusual vulnerability, a crack in their armor. Despite assuming that their schemes are known to no one, perceptive individuals can discern subtle clues that reveal a puppeteer's hand. It turns into a dance of illusions, where the puppeteer believes the strings are invisible. yet the audience perceives the intricacies of the performance. In the intricate navigation of the impact of narcissism, individuals can seek solace by reaching out to those who understand the challenges. The journey toward learning and healing can take diverse paths, such as seeking psychological assistance or spiritual guidance. Examining the subtleties of narcissistic behavior within the broader spectrum of human experiences can provide insights for those dealing with relationships characterized by self-centeredness. To navigate the complex web of narcissistic issues, it's essential to stay vigilant and realize that even in the elaborate puppetry staged by narcissists, the strings are not as invisible as the orchestrator believes. Awareness becomes our shield in this mysterious dance of manipulation and abuse, while understanding acts as our compass, guiding us through the confusing labyrinth of narcissistic behavior. A crucial strategy for narcissists involves skillfully identifying individuals who are easily manipulated and eager to please them. These manipulators strategically insert themselves into the lives of others, deceiving them into thinking they possess something unique or valuable. Unbeknownst to these individuals, they comply due to a fear of missing out or the potential loss of perceived benefits. This carefully orchestrated trap is the narcissist's tactic to maintain control. Narcissists possess a keen awareness of their target's vulnerabilities, desires, or needs, exploiting them to craft an illusion of indispensability. By deftly leveraging your attention, even through deceitful promises, they persistently manipulate, fostering the belief that they possess something profoundly important. This manipulation thrives on inducing fear of displeasing them or missing out on presumed advantages, making compliance more likely. Understanding this dynamic unveils the intricate mechanisms of narcissistic abuse. When enticing rewards fail to secure compliance, narcissists turn to punitive measures, employing a carrot-and-stick strategy. This method seeks to enforce compliance by instilling fear that non-compliance could lead to adverse consequences. The threat of punishment may subtly loom, creating apprehension that refraining from participation might result in unfavorable outcomes. Narcissists cast a subtle but pervasive influence, controlling and manipulating those within their orbit. It's crucial to acknowledge that these tactics aren't universally effective, as some individuals resist participating in the narcissist's manipulative games. While narcissists can exert control over everyone, those with egotistical tendencies persist in the belief that everyone harbors a weakness, a string that can be deftly pulled to their advantage. Narcissists frequently navigate diverse social situations, aiming to assert control over numerous individuals and cultivate dependency for personal gain. This leads to a peculiar cycle where people become reliant on the narcissist, while simultaneously, the narcissist becomes dependent on those they sought to control. Despite their intelligence, narcissists cannot control everyone, focusing instead on manipulating a select group crucial to fulfilling their needs. Considering themselves superior thinkers with grand ideas, narcissists experience discomfort when confronted with logical reasoning, exposing their manipulation attempts. This becomes evident when faced with basic truths, like the simple arithmetic of 1 + 1 = 2. Clear signs emerge, indicating dealings with a self-centered narcissist who shows minimal concern for others. Over time, individuals grasp this reality, challenging the narcissist's assumption that they can indefinitely control others to satisfy their desires. While the narcissist desires submission, once achieved, they believe they can wield power endlessly. However, they soon realize that fulfilling their desires relies on the compliance of others. Narcissists struggle to maintain composure when deprived of praise or a target for their anger. As individuals recognize the imbalance of giving without reciprocation, they start questioning the dynamic. It becomes evident that they can thrive without the narcissist, prompting a gradual withdrawal as the narcissist acknowledges the extent of their dependence. While some argue that narcissists are apathetic towards others, the truth is they heavily rely on them. Despite projecting an image of independence, narcissists depend more on others for emotional sustenance than the reverse. They invest significant effort in securing a steady supply because their functionality hinges on it. Narcissists maintain a belief that others lack intelligence or the ability to perceive their true nature. However, in this age of readily available information, people have become adept at recognizing unhealthy relationships. The landscape of dealing with narcissists has evolved over the years, presenting greater challenges for those interacting with such individuals. Growing awareness of the manipulative tactics employed by narcissists empowers people to identify and thwart their schemes more effectively. This heightened awareness compels narcissists to confront their shortcomings, particularly their constant need for emotional reinforcement. Without this ongoing feedback, they risk emotional instability, diminishing their ability to manipulate effectively. As people become more attuned to the issues generated by narcissists, navigating the realms of deception is becoming increasingly challenging for them. We extend gratitude for your commitment to engaging in these meaningful discussions. Your active participation and attention hold great significance for us. Additionally, you can become a channel member for just $1, gaining access to special benefits and showing support for the content you value. Your contribution plays a pivotal role in sustaining and enhancing our content creation. Once again, heartfelt thanks for your continued viewership and thoughtful consideration of our insights. Could it be you? You are the only one who can kill all the narcissists in the world. Empaths can be categorized into 4 distinct groups: normal, codependent, super, and contagion. However, it's rare for someone to neatly fit into just one category. More commonly, individuals exhibit traits from multiple groups, sometimes even encompassing all 4. Despite many claiming to be extreme empaths, true classification can only be determined through the empath recognition test. While some may occasionally demonstrate exceptional empathetic abilities, most often, they are exaggerating their capacities, driven by a desire to perceive themselves as more unique. This inclination isn't rooted in narcissism, but rather stems from their belief in being super empaths, especially following encounters with narcissistic individuals. Conversely, mid-range narcissists assert their superiority in understanding others. Their inflated self-worth aligns with their perception of superiority over others. The super empath, akin to a superhero, defies the odds to overcome the narcissist, often eliciting emotional responses from them. However, confronting such narcissists typically exacerbates the situation, leaving one vulnerable and only serving to fuel the narcissist's emotional energy. True empathy entails maintaining composure and discerning that the best course of action may be to disengage. This contradicts the self-image of mid-range narcissists, who pride themselves on their perceived bravery in facing challenges head-on. Many lay claim to being super empaths, though in reality, they represent a minority among empaths. While some may exhibit traits associated with super empaths, genuine individuals of this group are scarce. Interestingly, super empaths often struggle against narcissists due to the inadequacy of their empathetic skills. Although they may detect discrepancies more swiftly, their actions are not aimed at subduing the narcissist, but rather perceived as a challenge to their authority. No, hyper-empaths use their unique traits to defend themselves. They don't get angry when the narcissist puts them down. Because they are so emotionally sensitive, they may take in some of it at first, and they might not even realize they are working with a narcissist at first. They set limits and speak up earlier than other empaths, though not to beat the narcissist, but to protect themselves and stop being abused again. Like Gandalf, they draw a line in the sand and say, "You shall not pass." They should stand their ground and not attack the narcissist. No matter what type of narcissist it is, lesser, moderate, extreme, or greater. In most cases, their empathic traits include both strong egotistical traits and even stronger empathic traits. For those who have been hurt by a narcissist's mistreatment, their narcissistic traits, such as pride or arrogance, become clear, while their empathy trait of justice stands out. Because of this, they often get into fights to show how strongly they feel. They can use emotional thinking, which can make them stay in arguments when it would be smarter to stop, but they don't go through devaluation phases like other empaths do. Being very understanding doesn't mean you have to be angry and lose control around narcissists all the time. The attention should be on resistance, staying strong, holding on to one's position, and knowing when to step back. The ultra-empath will talk to the narcissist, but they will do so in a protective way. But the goal of